Well, it didn't take long for House conservatives, after filing or looking to file articles of impeachment against Deputy Director Rod Rosenstein, to walk that back. Oops, my bad. I guess we're not going to actually impeach Rosenstein after all. Now, there's an update, of course, here on this. Turns out that Mark Meadows says, well, you know what? We're going to temporarily table this motion to impeach Rod Rosenstein because I had some talks with several Republicans, and we came up with this agreement, right? So I'm not going to impeach. But they are, according to The Hill, going to pursue contempt if the Justice Department does not turn over documents Congress is seeking. Now, I'll get to the details on the documents they're looking for. But first, let me give you some of the details from a Politico article that I saw last night when this broke. Now, the articles of impeachment that were previously on the table accuse Rosenstein of failing to appoint a second special counsel to review the FBI's actions in the Russia probe, a demand some Republicans have been making for months. They also note that Rosenstein himself could be a witness to elements of Mueller's investigation and say that he should recuse himself. Subsequent articles also fault Rosenstein for refusing to provide certain documents and concealing others, allegations the Justice Department had sharply denied. Now, look, concealing documents, of course, related to the Russia and Clinton investigations, because that's exactly what they're looking for. We want all the documents related to the Clinton investigation into her emails, and then we also want all the documents related to the Mueller investigation. But right now, the Mueller investigation is an open investigation. Rod Rosenstein isn't able to give them all the information because it might consider, or it might have classified materials. So now the articles of impeachment, they continue, also chastise Rosenstein for refusing to share with lawmakers the memo outlining the scope of Mueller's investigation. Now, the Justice Department has refused that request on the grounds that it would impede the ongoing probe. So that's what happens here. So some of this stuff, as you can see, Rosenstein is not at the liberty to share with Congress, right? Especially with partisans in Congress like Mark Meadows and Jim Jordan. And it's because of the nature of the investigation. Now, that said, why are they demanding these articles? Or, I'm sorry, why are they demanding these documents and then saying, we're going to hold you in contempt or we're going to try to impeach you if you don't give us these documents? Well, it's because they're looking to politicize the investigation. Now, why would they want to do that? Well, because if a decision or something is found in the investigation and Mueller comes up and he finishes the investigation and sort of hands down his findings, well then, depending on what those findings are, Republicans want to be ready to basically discredit them. It's a political investigation. Look, Rosenstein didn't want to give over the documents because he's playing politics. Rosenstein, by the way, is a registered Republican. He's a conservative. And he's being attacked by fellow conservatives. In fact, before this was tabled, you had Mark Meadows, Jim Jordan, and 11 other very conservative members of the House that were on board for this move, that actually signed on. Now, that, of course, did not involve any of the GOP leadership. So this measure was dead on arrival. So that's why Jim Jordan's, and Jim Jordan and Mark Meadows are like, you know what, we're just going to go back and we're going to hold it in contempt instead, if you don't turn over the documents. Now, let me get to more of the documents here on how many they actually wanted. The Justice Department actually shared so far 880,000 pages of documents connected with the Clinton probe, or connected to the Clinton probe with the Judiciary and Oversight Committees. Not only that, but they also invited staff and lawmakers of the Justice Department to review documents in person and negotiate over access to sensitive material. So that's what the Justice Department is saying, like, hey, man, we have been cooperating. So why are you going to try to do impeachment articles, or why are you trying to hold us in contempt when we're already turning over the documents as fast as we can? on this Clinton investigation. And just the fact that it's now the Clinton investigation, that this is a part of it, it kind of shows you that this is absolutely partisan. So now let me go back to The Hill on this one that talks about this. Now, when asked if he does not, this is Meadows here, when asked if he does not receive the documents they are seeking by the time the House returns from their August recess, Meadows says, quote, "I think the very first order of business would be moving the House to a contempt vote." Now, look, would a contempt vote be easier to get to than an impeachment? Likely so. So, if they don't get their documents, what? Contempt. Amazing, huh? Now, he also had a warning. He said this would be the Department of Justice and the FBI's one last chance to comply. Comply or else. I hope we can avoid impeachment and hopefully avoid contempt and get the documents. But certainly both of those things are on the table and remain on the table to have more of a contempt process. Both options remain there. So even though he's not pushing what would be a dead impeachment vote anyway, because he doesn't have Republican leadership on board, he still says, well, it's on the table. It's on the table. I mean, come on. We'll do it. I mean, don't make us do it. Just give us what we want. Sensitive material related to the investigation into Russia. That's what we want. And we also want to make this incredibly political so that if Mueller hands down something that is not in our favor, that is not in Donald Trump's favor, well, then we can just say politicized. It's classic. It's classic Republicans, man. Look, I said before, all they want is the ability to remove Rosenstein. And I think that involves muddying the waters and making this a political investigation so that then they can signal to Donald Trump that it's okay to fire Rosenstein because now we've painted him as a political actor, and so you can frame him as part of the witch hunt more successfully with the press or with your, especially with your followers. In fact, they're already there, but with more of the general public. And then they get rid of Rosenstein. They can appoint somebody different, and then that person can fire Mueller and put an effective stop to the Mueller investigation. That is one big way to cover their ass, and I believe that this is just a part of going in that direction. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent progressive media, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/TYTNation.